I can conveniently pay for my utility bills, my son's Cartoon Network on DSTV, and renew my internet services package. I can securely send my sweet mother her monthly allowance by simply transferring funds from my bond account into hers. I can also pay the gardener through any of the mobile money platforms available. I can verify if the check to the vendor has cleared. Now let me guess my sister is here at time so I can peacefully go back to sleep. With Bond Mobile app, you can do your banking anywhere. Download the Bond Mobile app on Apple Play Store or Google Play Store today. Bond, your success, our passion.
There's always that one individual so selfless and caring. The world still has caring people. Getting unexpected help is a joy for us. That's why at Prudential Life, we've introduced Ultimate, the no-lapse guarantee on your Premier and Classic farewell plans. The biggest challenge for most clients having a funeral policy is the fact that when they are unable to pay premiums due to financial challenges, the policies elapse and the full benefit falls off. We have introduced the no-lapse guarantee on our funeral plans. This ensures that you don't lose your full benefit during challenging financial moments. Prudential. Always listening, always understanding.
When cleaning your vehicle by valeting, steaming, waxing, or polishing, make sure the engine is also sound. Servicing your vehicle with Gold synthetic oil and any quality Gold oil massages the engine, removes deposit, protects it from wear and tear for longer lasting performance, and makes your vehicle feel pampered. Made for diesel and super engines. Remember, after every 15,000 kilometers of enjoying your ride, service your engine with Gold synthetic oil.
Gold is a champion. That's why I, Azuma Nelson, 3 times world boxing champion and a patriot, always choose Gold.
Ashwini Pankasa. Gold, good energy.
Welcome to the 2017 edition of the National Science and Math Quiz. Yes, Christopher. You're right.
Perimeter.
You're right. Yes, Priscilla.
NH3.
You're right.
It was exciting getting all the points in the last round to catch up.
No school is too little to be bullied.
Yes, Wanda.
Operation.
You are right.
The National Science and Maths Quiz is the longest running independent production on television. It's the one program that brings education authorities, teachers, allied staff, students, old students associations, and parents together in support of science education at the senior high school rank of the education ladder. The objectives of the National Science and Maths Quiz are to promote the study of the sciences and mathematics, to help senior high school students develop quick thinking skills and a probing and scientific mind about things around them, to promote healthy academic rivalry between senior high schools. To a lesser degree, keep old students still interested in their schools and encourage them to offer help to their alma mater. To inculcate a degree of science culture in the Ghanaian society for all to see science as a way of life. Let's take a walk down memory lane and see how far we have come in 25 years. The idea was not proposed at a national science fair or conference, but rather on the tennis court of the University of Ghana, Legon, where Mr. Kweku Mensah Bonsu, then managing director of Primetime, was at the court to play the game after his own heart with his playmate, the late Professor Ebenezer Kweku Awotwe, Professor of Animal Science. Mr. Mensah Bonsu was curious as to why birds could stand on a live electric wire without getting electrocuted, but human beings could not do so. From Professor Kweku Awotwe's explanation, Mr. Mensah Bonsu got the idea of a quiz program focused on scientific explanations behind everyday phenomena, in addition to the topics from the regular science curriculum for senior high schools. Thus, it all began 25 years ago, in April 1993. Since then, the National Science and Maths Quiz Nsmq has seen 22 exciting editions.
Selecting the quiz mistress and the gender was entirely my decision. So one Saturday evening after tennis, we were sitting in Commonwealth Hall senior common room, and then Marianne was there. So I just said, he said, you talk to Marianne. Have you spoken with her? I said, no, I'm going to talk to her. So I talked to Marianne. Then Dr. Marianne Addy, later Professor Marianne Addy. I told her about the program and that I needed a quiz mistress. I wanted a quiz mistress. And she said, but why me? I said, you, because you are a female scientist with a PhD. Can you imagine the impact that this would have on the children, especially the girls? That I want you to be the quiz mistress, whether you like.
The mentorship sessions of the National Science and Maths Quiz is geared at, yes, inspiring our students and our contestants, but more importantly, to avert their minds to other areas in the sciences that they may not have thought about. This morning, however, it is a purely motivational session. And our mentor for this morning is Mr. Kofi Otutu Edulabi. He was educated at Oforipenyin Secondary School, Achimota School, and the University of Ghana. He also has a degree from the University of Bradford School of Management and has also studied at the Georgetown University Law Center and the International Law Institute in Washington, D.C. He's also studied at the Cranfield School of Management and London Business School. He has served as advisor under 2 governors of the Bank of Ghana. Mr. Edulabi has started his banking career at the SSB, then SSB Bank, now Societe Generale Ghana, as a pioneering staff in 1976 and was founding head of the legal department before rising to the position of general manager. He has extensive experience in project management, negotiations, human capital management, and corporate strategy. He has held a number of directorships, including Commissioner, Securities and Exchange Commission, Ghana, Victory Presbyterian Church School, and the Bible Society of Ghana. His current directorships include Trustee, Presbyterian Church of Ghana Education Foundation, Zoom Lion Domestic Service, and the Beige Bank. Kofi Otutu Edulabi has served as a resource person, at a number of events, including the first World Bank Conference on Financial Infrastructure in Rio de Janeiro, 2011, and the 4th United Nations Conference on Less Developed Countries in Istanbul, Turkey, also in 2011. He's an author, a teacher, and an elder of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana. He has served as elder and senior presbyter at Dansuman Emmanuel Congregation and Victory Congregation, Frafraha. Mr. Edulabi has been married to Eleonai since 1978, and they have 5 adult children and 2 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, I'd like to invite Mr. Kofi Otutu Edulabi.
Thank you very much, Paulina. My mind goes back to a story I heard some time ago. And it was on an occasion like this, and a minister of the gospel, a higher-ranking one, was introduced in very flowery language. When the person who finished the introduction completed her task, and this minister of the gospel started speaking, this is what he said. He said, "May the Lord forgive you for your exaggerations, and may he forgive me also for enjoying them so much." Thank you very much, Paulina. It is really great, I must say, it is really great to be here with you this morning. I've been introduced already. I'm a retired advisor at the Bank of Ghana. I was advisor to Dr. Paul Akwa, advisor to Mr. Misata, but I retired on attaining the age of 60 in 2011. So I'm a retiree, I'm a pensioner, but a very active one because I'm the chairman of the Beige Bank, and having trained as a lawyer, once a lawyer, always a lawyer. I'm also a management consultant, and I'm an author. I've written 5 books so far. History is being written, and I want you to note this. History is being written at the National Science and Maths Quiz. In fact, I believe that at this point in time, among a certain segment of the population of Ghana, the Champions League is nothing. The World Cup is nothing. Everything is about the National Science and Maths Quiz. Whether in Ghana or whether among the diaspora or students in America and elsewhere, everybody's glued onto social media following these events. So this shows you that history is being written. What you are doing here is not something that is just limited or restricted to this room or to you. People all over the world are following what is happening. So therefore, I think I'm right when I say that the whole country and diasporans have been afflicted by what I'm calling Nsmq fever. Nsmq fever. And I'm suggesting that Wikipedia should make an entry now which says that there's a new term in the world called National Science and Maths Quiz fever. My appreciation to the quiz mistress, Dr. Elsie Kaufman, to Prime Time, and to all those involved in the organization who have invited me here this morning. My young friends, ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak to you on what I've termed build your life on solid foundations. Build your life on solid foundations. Why foundations? Foundations are important because when you build your life or when you build any structure or any enterprise on solid foundations, that life or that enterprise or that structure will last. The rain may come, the floods may come, the winds may blow, the storm may come, but a house or an enterprise built on solid foundations will stand firm and will not fall. So there are a number of things that I want you to pay attention to when I say build your life on solid foundations. And the first one that I want you to take, and I really want you to ponder over, is that you cannot possess what you are not willing to pursue. Let me repeat that. You cannot possess what you are not willing to pursue. If whilst you are sitting here, you think that you are not interested in building your life on solid foundations, then you are wasting your time. But I don't believe that there's anybody here who does not want to build his or her life on solid foundations. So make up your mind that you are going to pick up something that is going to help you to mold your life, because you are at a very strategic point in your life. From here, you go on to the university. From university, you move on to the working world, and you are going to do all kinds of things. But the things that you are using to mold your life at this stage in your life, these are the things that are going to help you to get on in life, and to become successful. And the other one is that you need to have a creative dissatisfaction with life. Creative dissatisfaction, meaning that you don't just accept things for what they are, just because your parents or grandparents have done certain things in a certain way. Just because your parents have been pounding fufu and preparing abenkwai for 200 years the same way, doesn't mean that we should continue to prepare abenkwai the same way. I think it is very oppressive on our mothers and our wives and everybody else. Have a creative dissatisfaction. It's because we don't have that kind of creative dissatisfaction that we are still preparing fufu and abenkwai in the way it was prepared 200 years ago. I want to believe that those of you in this room here, when you have left here and gone on to university or industry, that creative dissatisfaction you may have picked up from here is going to help you to break new grounds in society. In fact, that creative dissatisfaction is what led to the manufacturing or the discovery, invention of the mobile phone, the computer, and all the other things of convenience that we are using right now. If the people who did those things had not had creative dissatisfaction, I'm sure we'll still be using talking drums to communicate. So build your life on solid foundations. Do not despise small beginnings. One of the things that I've seen from the school of life, and I've been in the school of life for many years. I've worked in the corporate world. I've been a counselor. I'm a church elder. I'm a family person. One of the things that I've seen is that many people, especially in our society, are looking for big things. They are looking to achieve big things. But they are not prepared to start with the little things that will add up to make sure that at the end of the day, those little things will contribute to them achieving the objectives. But those who do well in life, you find that they do not despise small beginnings. That means that you unlock your passion, that edge in you, that dream that you have. Unlock it and keep your eyes open and make sure that little opportunities that are around you, you identify those opportunities and you make use of them and you stop making excuses. And in this connection, you need to have the right mindset. A lot of our problems are problems of the mind. We are having problems because many of us are refusing to think, because we find thinking hard work. It's too hard. But if you want to build your life on solid foundations and to succeed, you need to start thinking. And then when you start thinking, you realize that really the world is just a canvas to your imagination. And that canvas or a piece of cloth or mural or something or a piece of wood can be used to create something priceless. Last September, I was in the US, and I visited my daughter and some friends, and we went to Princeton University. And just outside Princeton University, there's something called the Garden of Sculpture. And we spent about 2.5 hours there walking through the Garden of Sculpture. It's like Aburi Gardens, but with a difference. As we walk through this Garden of Sculpture, there are statues, there are carvings, there are all kinds of things there that have been created by artists and sculptors. And sometimes from a distance, you cannot even tell the difference. You cannot tell whether this is a proper human being or whether this is a work of art. And I was so happy that one of the distinguished artists there was a Ghanaian from Latte Kuyapim called Mike Jampo. And he was so happy to see me, and he stopped what he was doing and took me around the whole place. And he showed me some of the ordinary pieces of wood, ordinary pieces of cloth that have been used to create such magnificent things. You need to have the right mindset. When you have that right mindset, something that looks useless, even garbage. Do you know that garbage is money? That is how come Jospon, for example, is making millions. Because the garbage or the baller that most of us don't respect, he saw that there is an opportunity. There is an opportunity that can be used to create wealth, to create jobs, to create employment, to create growth in the economy. Appreciate the value of time. One of the problems that we have in this country is that we don't respect time. But you should start respecting time. We don't respect time in this country, and we are paying a heavy price for it. You give a notice that the function is going to start at 9 o'clock, and people think it's 9:30, so they come at 9:30, from top to bottom. But unless we stop doing these things, we will not make progress as a nation. So appreciate the value of time. Whether you are the president, whether you are the Queen of England, appreciate the value of time and do away with time wasters. When you value your time and use your time well, you end up using your time effectively and not wasting time. And then building your life on solid foundations also means you establish a routine. What do I mean by you establish a routine? really life is made up of a routine. If you establish a routine, you know that there are times that you have to do certain things. There are times that you don't have to do certain things. So let me give you one example. For example, every morning, I have a routine for every morning, and I believe that that has helped me a lot. And I've taught my family. In any event, my children, 2 of my children are here. There's Eunice is here. Eunice is number 4. Please stand up and let's see you. Eunice Adote is my 4th daughter. She's got an MPhil in French. And then Ifwa Besiwa is the last born at number 5. She's just completing Legon this year. Both went to Wesley Girl. And my eldest daughter, Abna, she's got a master's in computer science from Pennsylvania. I've taught my family to follow what I do, establish a routine. So I get up in the morning, and there are things that are non-negotiable. Of course, I make sure I use the washroom. I brush my teeth. You would think this is funny. I've traveled so often all around the world, especially from Accra to Amsterdam, from Accra to London Heathrow, and it has never ceased to amaze me as early in the morning, around 5 a.m. on the flight in Amsterdam or in Heathrow, the air hostesses come around and say, "Would you have breakfast?" I tell them no, and then I see people around me who have not brushed their teeth eating. For somebody brought up on the Equipem Ridge, I mean, this is horror. Oh dear, how can you eat when you have not brushed your teeth? You may think it's something small, but these are the little things that add up to make sure that you become somebody who is serious in life. Establish a routine. I have another routine. So I get up, I do all the things I need to do. Then I do my quiet time. I spend time in devotion to charge my battery for the day. I pray, I read my Bible, I spend time to charge my battery for the day. When I finish that, then I write my post on my timeline. I don't know how many of you read my post, but every morning I do a post on my timeline. This morning and yesterday I said, stand up for something. Stand up, have the courage to stand up for something. Now when I finish that, I go on my walk. 30-minute walk. I've walked this morning before I came here. 30-minute walk. And it's not negotiable. Be the change that you want to see. Establish a routine. Helen Keller. Some of you may have heard of Helen Keller. She was born blind. She was born deaf. She was also dumb. This is the worst that could happen to anybody in our environment. But even though she was born blind and deaf and she was dumb, she decided that she would not allow her disability to overcome her, to overwhelm her. So she overcame that disability with the help of a caring teacher, and she went on to inspire millions of people all over the world, and she is still inspiring people all over the world up to today. She's also inspiring me. And therefore, even if as you move on in life, you meet some obstacles, you meet some problems, you meet some disabilities, remember Helen Keller and avoid skeptics and negative people who will try to tell you that this is the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Remember, we are talking about build your life on solid foundations. No vision and you perish. No ideal and you are lost. You must have a vision of where you want to be 10 years from now. My young friends, have a vision of what you want to be 10 years or 15 years from now. Have a vision of where you want to see yourself 10 years or 15 years from now, so that you can work towards it. You can prepare yourself towards it. You can be thinking about it and asking yourself, is there something that I have to do, something I can do, so that I can achieve this vision? The thing is that your heart must always cherish something, and therefore do not live your life aimlessly. And I'm saying that the size of your hope is critical. The size of your hope is critical. In fact, everything that is done in this world is done by hope. Have you thought about that? This is not an original statement. That statement was made originally by Martin Luther of the Reformation fame, that everything that is done in this world is done by hope. You are here and you are in school because you are hoping that you go to university, you become a teacher, you become a lawyer, you become an accountant, you become something. That is why you are studying. Even on the spiritual level, we serve God because we want to go to heaven. Everything in this life is done by hope, and therefore you need to hope for something. And then as we build our lives on solid foundations, I want you to remember that it is not all smooth. It is not all roses. Sometimes serious failure, setbacks, disappointments may come, but you should not allow them to keep you down. I don't know how many of you have heard of Dr. Felix Konote Ahulu. Dr. Felix Konote Ahulu is one of the greatest. In fact, I have stated in my books that there are three, or at the time I wrote my books, I said there were the three greatest living Ghanaians: Professor F.K.A. Alote, Kofi Annan, and Dr. Felix Konote Ahulu. After Dr. Alote died, I threw a challenge and I got nomination. So now the third person in it is Professor J.H. Nketia. Dr. Felix Konote Ahulu is a world-famous, world-acclaimed scientist and medical officer. In fact, in terms of the sickle cell disease, he's the #1 authority in the whole world. And sometimes he'll be sitting in London, and the hospital in America, Washington, D.C., will be having a problem of sickle cell. They'll call him, and then he will instruct them, do this, and the problem will be solved. He will be 88 years old in July, just next month. He's my friend. He communicates with me a lot. And he reads my posts on Facebook. So in April, I did a post on something. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think I did a post on how to rise up in the face of failure or something. And then he commented. And listen to what he said. He said, in 1953, I finished bottom of the inter-BSc class at the University of Ghana, and I left Legon in disgrace. The world-famous doctor, he said, I left Legon in disgrace in 1953. But I did not give up. On the 28th of September, that same year, 1953, I arrived in Liverpool via Elder Dempster Lines to start my inter-BSc again in the UK. And I was able to do it, and I started my medical studies. And in the course of it, I had the fortune of meeting Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones. We don't have enough time to talk about who Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones is, but he was a great man. He's dead now. So that's Dr. Konote Ahulu for you. And therefore, what I'm saying that if in the course of your life, if as you are moving on in life, you face any adversity, you face any failure, you face any disappointment, don't allow that failure or adversity or disappointment to keep you down. Because every adversity has a seed of an equivalent success. This is something that you should actually commit to memory. Every adversity has a seed of an equivalent success. It's Napoleon Hill who said it in his book, Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. Every adversity. And actually for me as a preacher, there's even a passage in the Bible in Micah which says that, rejoice not over me when I fall, O my enemy. When I sit in darkness, the Lord will be a light unto me. As I fall, I'll rise again. So every adversity. But then, in building your life on solid foundations, there is no shortcut. There is no shortcut. It involves preparation, preparation, preparation. There is nothing like overnight success. And I'm sure that you understand preparation even more than I do. Because in preparing to come here, I'm sure you spent weeks and months. Your teachers and your parents and all students, everybody has been pumping a lot of resources and encouragement into you. And you have been burning the midnight oil so that you come here fully prepared. So there's nothing like overnight success. So that's preparation. But of course, you need discipline. If you are not disciplined, you will not use your time well. You will be wasting your time doing other things. And by the time you are aware, the time is gone. You need discipline. I've written here Singapore and Rwanda. I've not been to Singapore, I've not been to Rwanda, but I've got a number of friends who have been to those places, and I've met people who have come from those places. And one thing that they say is that those places are models of discipline. They are models of excellence. In fact, in the case of Singapore, I hear it is just a piece of rock jutting out in the sea. They don't have cocoa, they don't have gold, they don't have all the things that we have in Ghana. It's just a piece of rock in the sea. They don't even have water. They import seawater from neighboring Malaysia, and they desalinate it before they can use water. And yes, Singapore is one of the greatest countries in this world now, and they have the best, the highest standard of education. How did they do it? Discipline. They had a leader called Lee Kuan Yew, LKY, and he made sure that he is still disciplining them. And you cannot even chew gum. If you chew gum and you are caught, you'll be lashed. We need that kind of discipline in this country if we are talking about building our lives on solid foundation. Rwanda, I don't want to argue about the man. People are not happy about his methods. But those who have been there say that it is a model of discipline. Things work. Institutions work. Structures work. I hear the head of state, Paul Kagame, when he calls a meeting, he'll call a meeting and he'll tell that this meeting is starting at 13 minutes past 9. We'll be tied you if you are not there. 13 minutes past 9 on the dot, the meeting starts. We need that kind of discipline. Otherwise, we will not move on as individuals and as a country. We need discipline in our habits. Discipline in our attitude to cleanliness. Look at the sanitation issues that we are having, especially in Accra. Are you happy with it? Are you happy with sanitation in Accra? No. It's a question of discipline. Discipline in attitude. Discipline is the key to greatness. Build your life on solid foundations. One of the things that I've proved to be true is the reading habit. Cultivate the reading habit. Cultivate the reading habit. See a book as a friend. When was the last time you read a book? I'm not talking about set books for your WASI or any other exam. I mean a real book, a story book, a fiction book, a biography, autobiography. See a book as a friend. You will be amazed at the nuggets of wisdom that you can pick up just by reading good books. My recommendation to you, read at least one book a month. I have been reading all my life. Ever since I was a child. I came from a poor home, but we had books. I've been reading all my life. And when I was a student, I was reading everything. Ian Fleming, John Le Carré, Agatha Christie, P.G. Woodhouse, everybody, every book that I got. And when my children were growing up, 5 of them, 3 of them are here. At that time, we lived in Dansoman. Saturday morning, we will march to the Dansoman Library. We read all the books in the Dansoman Library, and then we went to Accra Central Library to go and conquer Accra Central Library. Read. Reading will open your mind. Reading will open your mind. You see, success is not by chance. It is by choice. Some of the things that we are talking about, discipline, respect for time, preparation, reading. These are the things that will help you build your life on solid foundations. And this involves discipline and the right choices. And of course, perseverance. Perseverance is the lubricant that will keep you going. At this stage, let me just read something for you on perseverance. It is about a lady called Wilma Rudolph. It's in this book called Christianity is a Way of Life, forward by Justice Sophia Abna-Boafo Ekufo, Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. I first heard it's about somebody called Wilma Rudolph. The story of Wilma Rudolph. I first heard the name Wilma Rudolph when I was in primary school. That is me. She won 3 gold medals in a single Olympics in 1960 in Rome. At that time, such a feat was rare. It was much later that I got to know a bit of her background. Wilma had a very tough time growing up. She was born premature. She was the 20th of 22 children and contracted one illness after another. She went from measles to mumps, scarlet fever and chickenpox to double pneumonia. She then contracted polio, and the doctors told her mother that Wilma would never walk and that she would have to wear braces, steel braces on her legs all her life. They did not reckon with the faith and resilience of her mother. Through persistence and encouragement and a strong spirit, Wilma Rudolph decided to go into athletics. Unbelievable, you would say, for someone with a health record. She maintained a strict regimen of training and refused to wear braces. At age 16, She took part in the 1956 Olympics and won a bronze medal in the 4x100 meters relay. Then came her crowning achievement in 1960. The lesson for you today is, do not give up. Have faith in God and discipline yourself to pursue your dreams. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So, perseverance. As you go on in life, do not give up. Persevere. But wisdom is key. I'm very much concerned about wisdom. In fact, two of my books, one of them is called Pearls of Wisdom, and the other one is called Wisdom, Faith, and a Song. Wisdom, I believe that most of the problems we have in Ghana, the problems can be traced to wisdom. We have a wisdom problem. For example, why do people have to spend 1.5 hours in the morning going from the house, sometimes even 2 hours before you get to your office? And then when you close, you spend about 2 hours in traffic. Do we have to do this every day? Can't we think? Can't we get people to study the flow of traffic? Sorry. Flow of traffic. In order that maybe between the rush hours, some roads can be dedicated to a certain direction. This is not rocket science. I've seen it happen in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, where during certain hours, you can tell that from Adenta to Medina to Tatakwashe, there's more traffic. So more of the lanes are dedicated. Our problem is wisdom. We are refusing to think. You have to say it as it is. And I'm saying it to you because you are our future. And I want you to think and solve those wisdom problems so that it will be good for you and good for our nation. Because the point is that God will not do for us what we can do for ourselves. Listen, God will not do for you what you can do for us. For example, God gives us good harvest. So we have maize and yam and plantain and all those things which we cook. But God will not come and hold your hand and put the food in your mouth. You have to do it yourself and chew and swallow. God will not do for you what you can do for yourself. In that regard, I want you to note, based on what we've said earlier, there need to be wise in managing your time, because a busy day is not the same as a productive day. Now, just a little bit, Dr. Elsie is not here, but I've written here God and the law of gravity, which is really, from my understanding, all objects attract each other with a force of gravitational attraction. Don't ask me anymore. But the point I'm making is that there are universal laws applicable in life. There are universal laws, and they are based on the law of gravity. So, for example, if you decide that you are going to the rooftop here, and you are going to throw yourself down, when you throw yourself down, you will die. The prayers of all the anointed men in Ghana will not save you, because God has established those laws, that if you throw yourself down from a height, you will die. It's all a question of wisdom. So, my concluding remarks, I'm ending very soon. Be diligent. Just as you are being diligent in your approach and your preparation towards the National Science and Maths Quiz, be diligent in everything that your hand finds to do. And if you are diligent in everything that your hand finds to do, you will make it in life. There's a time for everything under the sun. So make sure that you do the right thing at the right time. For example, whilst you're in school now, and whilst you move on to university, that is not the time to go and find a wife or to get a husband. Your parents have sent you to school to go and study. Pursue that goal. When you are finished, the other things will fall in pleasant places. Put first things first. Spend quality time on the things that matter. Let your life be a seminar in living, like this. So wherever you go, open your eyes. Take down notes. Anywhere I go, I jot down notes. Jot down notes. Learn something new every day. That's what I mean by letting your life be becoming a seminar in living. Learn something new. I hope you are learning something new this morning. Set your watch ahead. This is not written in any book, but this is something I've been doing for years. So if you go into my car, my vehicle now, my watch is about 5 minutes fast. In the house, they don't know, but I've set the clock in the dining hall 5 minutes fast. So when we are going somewhere, I say, time is up. I know that it's 5 minutes fast, but if I don't do that, some people will be late. Set your watch ahead. So now that I'm done, let me just use the opportunity to introduce the books I've written. The first one is called Stories to Warm Your Heart. Stories to Warm Your Heart. Forward by Mrs. Matilda Emisata, wife of the former vice president. She's a literary editor, a librarian, and everything. She actually edited this book. And among the people who have endorsed the book are Dr. Felix Konote-Ahulu, Dr. Joyce Aye, and a lot of other Professor Stephen Ade, others. The second one is Nuggets for Victorious Living, forward by Sophia Ekufu, Chief Justice, and a lot of other people, Reverend Professor Seth Aite, and other people have endorsed the book. Pearls of Wisdom, forward by Reverend Dr. Gio Kapong, endorsed by Bensiencho Lecha, and Ankuma, and Co, and others. They Touched Us for Good. This book is a book about leadership. They Touched Us for Good is a book about leadership. Forward by Dr. Johnson Esiama, Deputy Governor, Bank of Ghana, immediate past Deputy Governor. It's about leadership. And it deals of role models who have influenced lives for good. For example, Joyce Sibe of a Brie Girls is talking about here. Her picture is also in it. Clarice Garnett, Wesley Girls High School, Ghani. Her picture is here. Her life story. When some old girls read this book, they asked me, how did you know all this about Clarice Garnett that those of us who went to Wesley Girls don't know? In any event, my 4 daughters and my wife went to Wesley Girls. They didn't know the things that I know about. So if you are from a Brie Girls or Wesley Girls, you have to buy this book. And then the last one, Wisdom, Faith, and the Song, forward by Justice Georgina Theodora Wood, immediate past Chief Justice, who actually came to launch all the 5 books. There was a trilogy launch exactly 2 years ago, June 21st, at which we launched the 3 books. Justice Georgina Wood, Chief Justice, came to launch the books. And then November last year, the double book launch also. She came with other people to come and launch those books. I'm happy to say that the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, out of the blue, asked me to bring my books. They had heard about my books. And I was pleasantly surprised when they wrote back and copied to the Minister for Education, copied to Charles, Genius, everybody saying that all these 5 books are approved as supplementary readers for SHS and above in this country. I will recommend. They are inspirational. I will recommend that you get copies. There are copies in the lobby out there. But I'm pleased to announce that I'm donating 100 copies of the books to the winners of this year's National Science and Maths Quiz. So, Dr. Kaufman, please liaise with me. When you are just about to die, I'll give you 100 copies to the winning school. So thank you very much for inviting me here. God bless you. God bless the National Science and Maths Quiz. God bless Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kofi Otutu Edulabi. This morning I've been inspired. He has been speaking on the topic, Build a Solid Foundation. And I'd like to let you know that our mentorship sessions are brought to us by Bond Savings and Loans and RMG Ghana Limited. He has mentioned quite a few things that before you ask him questions, I'd like to go over. He talked about being creatively dissatisfied. He said that it is because we are creatively satisfied, that is why we prepare fufu and abenkwai the same way it was prepared 200 years ago. We need to change that. And maybe somebody here will invent that fast abenkwai that gets prepared in 5 minutes. Then have the right mindset, appreciate the value of time, establish a routine, read, read, read. And then again, he talked about prepare, prepare, prepare. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Kofi Edu Otutulabi. I'd like to give you the opportunity to ask a few questions. And so if you have a question, the mic is coming around. Just raise your hand and he will answer you. Questions? Yes. And whilst the mic is coming around, please, you are being given some evaluation forms to fill for us. Kindly fill it, raise up your hand when you are done, and our production assistant will pick it up.
Thank you very much. Please, I'd like you to explain your relationship with God as you are going up the ladder of success. Your relationship with God.
Oh, see. Well, again, I've written about this. If you read my books, I've written about this. Just going back to the earliest times, when I was about 3 years old, my mother took me by the hand and took me to the chapel, the old chapel at Ebrew. You know, Ekropon, then Ebrew and Ekropon are twin towns. Took me there, and then I saw on the wall, many J's said, "Was say, Miss Mayanko Yehuafi." I was glad when they said unto me, "Let us go unto the house of the Lord." My mother taught me to pray. My mother taught me about the Bible. My mother taught me about God. And I was brought up in a Christian home, if I should put it that way. I was brought up in the church. When I went to secondary school, I joined the Scripture Union. And through the Scripture Union, I was taught to do my quiet time. I was taught to serve the Lord. I was taught to fellowship with others. So it's been a long-term, gradual process. And of course, at the university, I was in the University Christian Fellowship, where really my faith was reformed and defined and built up. So that is how it has been. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Any other question? Yeah. Any other question?
But if I can add to that, my faith is that he who is faithful in a little is faithful also in much. In fact, that is my defining philosophy in life. Faithfulness in little things. Because I believe that if you are faithful in the little things, and if you pay attention to the little things in life, they all add up. And this has proven so true. Because years after I've left formal work, I go to places, or even my children go somewhere. And when people meet them, just because by the grace of God I've been faithful in something small, doors open to me or to them. So.
Do we have any question from the audience? Okay, so sir, this is my question. How have you been able to combine your work life, your career, and family? You talked about the law of gravity and God, and I'm sure there's a principle in there that we can learn from. And I am talking about myself and the teachers, and even for you, young people.
Yes. There are basic principles involved. One of the things that I found very useful, and it's one of my mantras, I said, build pleasant memories. Build pleasant memories. You see, because we forget that life is short. By the time you are aware, you would have left here, you would have been married, you've had children, and then you wonder, what happened? So make sure that you savor each and every occasion, every time, whether at home with the children, everybody. Just make use of the time. Enjoy the time. Love your children. Use little opportunities. When you used to travel to Wesley Girls to go and visit the girls, there's a college, there's a hotel. It's called Cape Coast Hotel or something. And there's a story about it. We call that hotel in my home Concrete. Because see, where I come from, we love trees. But there was this hotel where we didn't see any trees. So anytime the vehicle approached there, we'll start banging on the seats in the car. Say, concrete, concrete, concrete. It sounds funny. But many years later, we can all look back to those occasions. And we look back with joy. Because life is made up of memories. Again, I don't know if you've answered the question, but those are some of the little things. At the dining table, use the opportunity to talk about little things, to teach them. When you go somewhere and people have behaved in a certain way or certain things have happened, use the opportunity to teach them the things that are right or the things that are wrong. That is how I've managed my family life. And I found out that that is much better, it's more impactful than sitting people down for 30 minutes to go and talk to them. That kind of thing, it doesn't work. But it's the small, indirect things. Those are the things that they remember. Those are the things that are impactful.
Thank you, sir. And as he spoke, I saw his daughters smiling and laughing about the things that he was talking about. So we'll give you 5 minutes to wrap up.
Okay. Yes. So really, everything that I've said revolves around us being wise. Let us be wise. Let us have eyes that actually see. You see, a lot of us look at a lot of things, but we don't see the things that we should be seeing. So have eyes that not just look, but eyes that see. Do you know that penicillin was discovered by accident by Sir Alexander Fleming? It was because he had eyes that observed. There are so many things around us. People come from outside Ghana. They come without any money. They come from India, other places. And they come and do what? They establish businesses and they employ our people. They make all the money and go away, whilst we wallow in poverty. It's because we have eyes that just look, but we don't see. We are sitting on gold, but we don't appreciate it. God has blessed us. Let us start thinking. Put on our thinking caps. Let us be wise in the use of time. Let us be careful and wise in the choices that we make. And I believe that if you get that, you would have solved the problems of Ghana. And we are counting on you, the young people, to change Ghana. You have all the opportunity. That is what I'll say in terms of winding up.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Kofi Edu Labi. So I would like to say a big thank you for coming. Thank you. In wrapping up, I'd like you to know that tomorrow for our mentorship sessions, we have Dr. Yao Okreku Yuenchi. I hear he's a phenomenal speaker, and I expect that you all come and enjoy the mentoring sessions tomorrow. Finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Bond Savings and Loans and RMG Ghana Limited, for bringing us the mentorship sessions for the National Science and Maths Quiz 2018. See you all tomorrow morning. Thank you.
I can conveniently pay for my utility bills, my son's Cartoon Network on DSTV, and renew my internet services package. I can securely send my sweet mother her monthly allowance by simply transferring funds from my Bond account into hers. I can also pay the gardener through any of the mobile money platforms available. I can verify if the check to the vendor has cleared. Now let me guess my sister is here at time so I can peacefully go back to sleep. With Bond mobile app, you can do your banking anywhere. Download the Bond mobile app on Apple Play Store or Google Play Store today. Bond, your success, our passion.